Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Life Happens podcast. I am your host, Grace or Rabia, whatever you want to call me. As you guys know, but not out my name. Don't call me out my name. As you guys know, the Life Happens podcast is a podcast where we take our spirituality with everyday practical things to create this beautiful balance that you see. And we are work in progress, y'all. Today's topic is why don't men approach women anymore? But before we get into that, we want to say hi to our oncoming or ongoing, hopefully soon to be, maybe um, permanent co-host Brian. I mean, we don't know. We it's a prayer point. So hi, Brian.
Y'all froze, not me.
I'm not frozen because I'm moving. I can you not froze though, but anyway. Hey
I don't
Kim,
know what I don't know what you said, but y'all froze.
boy, you lying. You
Yep.
lies.
I saw the circles on the screen like this.
Oh really?
Yep.
Can you see that, Kim? Can you see clearly?
I can see very good. Yes.
And you can hear. So Brian's the issue. Okay. Um. How was your camp, Kim? Kim, you went here last week.
Yes, I was at youth camp. I'm a pastor, a youth pastor. And so we had about 24, 25 kids, uh,
Okay.
high school age kids. It was really great. It was a great time. I love camp. And the reason why I love camp is because kids get to get away from their normal routine and be in a place where they can hear God for themselves. Get ministry if they need ministry, have an opportunity. Some kids don't like to worship in a big arena, but when
Right.
you put them in a small setting, the worship tends to flow. And so that was really great to see all the kids just really engaged in worship where, sometimes act like they're too cool for school, but not at camp.
Mm.
So I really enjoyed it. It was great. I want to have a fall a fall camp and just keep it going, inviting more and more kids. This year the only kids that came were our main kids. We did not invite other kids from across the country, which is what we usually do. And we have over 100 kids that usually want to come. I had kids from California, from Oklahoma, from
Mm.
Washington come
Oh,
to one
okay.
camp. I had over 100 kids at camp. But this year we kept it in house. And so, just fresh from COVID and getting our feet wet, me and Haley Pierce getting our feet wet back into the camp scene. So we wanted to keep it small and just kind of do that. But I'm very excited. I'm excited what God is doing amongst the young people who actually want to know God and want to hear from God. It's always a great thing. And to see it develop. I love it. I love it.
No, it sounds really exciting though. I love what you're talking about, teaching children to hear God's voice. Because
Yes.
there's so many voices that they could hear and just giving them direction. Hey Keisha Walker girl, hi.
Hi, Keisha. It's because there's so much, kids are so bombarded with social
Hey
media
sis.
stuff that, they hear a lot of voices and tend to try and live up to what's online. And so that's always hard to kind of close those voices off and hear
Mm.
the word of God instead of hearing so many things coming at them at one time. You know, they wake up to the news, they wake up to what's trendy, they wake up to it because it's instantly there. Me growing up, we didn't have cell phones, so everything wasn't so instant. But now everything is so instant and at their fingertips that they tend to get bombarded by it, I think.
No, you're right though. And I know you work with kids, Brian. I'm sure you see some of the same things.
Yeah. I mean, she came pretty much, well, was pretty precise and accurate with what she said.
Yeah, I was telling them earlier before we got on, like I'm teaching my kids to hear clear because a lot of things are perverted. The enemy will try to pervert, but this is not a Christian show right now. But I mean, the enemy, yeah, perverts things. So you have to be careful. You teach your kids, hey, that's not God, or hey, is that you? Who's that talking? But guys, the topic today is why
Before you
don't
go on, I want
Mm,
to say that I wish there were more parents out there that were doing these exercises with their children. So I just want to encourage parents that are watching, those that do have children, to do an exercise with your children. Take time out to say, hey, let's just be still for a minute and see what we hear. It's really a great thing take 10 minutes, take 15, just a time just to be quiet and hear what God is saying. It's a great thing to do. I used to do that with my children when they were little, and just sit and just listen and say, what do you hear? What are you hearing? And so it's just a great thing. My girls even now will get quiet, and they're in their 20s, and get quiet and see what God is saying. So
I think we
anyway,
should
I just
talk
want to
about
say that. I
this.
don't want to lose that. I didn't want to lose that.
No, and I think it's beautiful, but we need to talk about that on Saturday. You can come
Why
on Saturday.
Saturday? How come we can talk about it now? This is great.
Brian, why don't men approach women anymore? Why?
Okay. So, this is multifaceted.
I want to know why. Why you so scared? What's up?
Well, number one, Kim said this word earlier, online. Social media, online dating has made it a little more convenient for people to chat, right? Instead of me approaching someone on in person, because there are a lot of things that have to go into approaching a woman in person, right? So let's just say I went to a mall and I saw a woman that I wanted to talk to. A lot of things have to align for that to be, for that to happen, and not on my end, on her end. I don't know if she's in a good mood or not. I don't care about these things, but I'm just saying from perspective. Right. I don't know if she's in a good mood or not. I don't know if she's in a rush or not. There are a lot of women who don't think that talking to them in a particular setting is appropriate. Like I have heard from many women, they get aggravated. They go, "Oh my God, this dude tried to holler at me at Walmart, and I wasn't even dolled up, and I had this on, I had that on, and I'm like, actually, that's a compliment if a dude tries to holler at you without any makeup on, when you're just in your regular clothes. That is actually a compliment, because he's not worried about anything, past what he sees. He just sees you. And, but there are women who don't want to be hollered at Walmart because they're like, oh, I just want to go in and get it. Women definitely don't want to get hollered at gas stations. So I'm just saying the scenario of the mall. The timing's got to be right for her. I don't know if she's in a rush. I don't know if this is a setting where she does want to be hollered at. I don't know. Me, I don't care. That's just me. I go up and say, introduce myself. I would introduce myself. I would give her a genuine compliment if there's something that I could connect really fast. Maybe she's got a whole bunch of Nike gear on. Well, I've got Nike gear. I love wearing Nike gear. Maybe I can connect with her really quick on that. I'm definitely going to ask if she has a man or not, or if she's dating anyone or not. I have to find out all this information, like in a really short time frame. Well, social media takes care of all that for me. If I want to talk to a girl, talk to a woman, I can see pretty much everything I need to see. I can see if she's got a man or not. If she, shares that information. I can see how many children she has. I can see where she lives and this and that. Even online dating makes it convenient simply because it increases the chances that I would see this person. Well, let me actually rephrase that. Online dating, I'm trying to get the words out. So if I wanted to meet Robbie in real life, everything it would almost be luck. It would almost be circumstantial, right? We would have to be in the same place at the same time, walking. I would have to see you. Maybe you're behind some balloons. I don't know. Maybe you're coming out of the restaurant and I'm going in the restaurant. Maybe we sit in the same area. I don't know. But all these conditions have to almost be perfect in order for me to actually even see you in real life, for me to even say something to you. Well, online dating takes all of that out of the equation. Robbie, if you put yourself on an online dating site and I put myself on an online dating site, well, then I just keep scrolling until I find you. right? So it takes a lot of the middleman ish stuff out, if that makes any sense. So,
It does. But you said
but
something interesting when you talked about women being approached in Walmart and how they get irritated. I don't think it's the fact that they've been approached. I think how they've been approached. You see?
I
right,
agree.
right, true. But there are a lot of women who there are a lot of women who just don't even want to be approached because they don't think that they are dolled up enough to be approached. There are women with that mentality to go, well, I didn't have on my makeup and I didn't have on these type of clothes and I was looking like a bum and this dude tried to holler at me. I liked him and he looked good, but I don't know. I wasn't dressed up or nothing. I'm like, that is
I
a
don't know any
compliment,
women like
lady.
that.
That
That's a
is a
whole
compliment.
different. That's a mental issue. Not like you're crazy, but I'm saying that's a personal issue. If you feel that
Yeah.
to me, because I think as I've gotten older, a lot of stuff really doesn't matter. I think
Yeah.
I think people talking like that are probably young minded anyway. I'm gonna read some comments. What's good, my beautiful black queens and strong black king in the middle? That is CJ. Even before he told me that was CJ, I knew that was CJ.
What's up, CJ?
And then he says, because ninjas ain't trying to get exposed. Every time a dude approach her, she's gonna try to expose him just for trying to holler at her. Yeah. Kim, what are your thoughts?
I'm with Brian. I think social media has a lot to play with men's um, confidence level of approaching women. And also, I think because um, pornography is so rampant now, I think that that plays a big part as well. But men are just,
Hi, Eric.
I have so many friends. Hello. I
What's going
have
on there?
so
Hello.
many
How you doing?
young women in my life who
Mhm.
are like wanting to date, wanting to be, wanting to be with a guy. They don't turn, I mean, oh no, he's not too good for me. They're like, men just do not approach women anymore. They won't. They won't do it. They won't do it. They won't take that first step. And
Wow.
I was like, wow, really? And they said, but now they're leaving it up to us to take the first step.
That
And it's
that's
all
that has merit. That's legit too. And I was gonna mention the other side of the coin, and Keisha had a comment that was, gonna be pretty much what I said. There are a lot of men who don't holler at women because they don't know how, because of the convenience of social media. Because look what social media does. Most men holler at women on social media like this. Hey, beautiful. Good morning, beautiful. Hey, queen. Grand rising, queen.
That is
That's
that Grand Rising Queen will get your ass toe.
nice.
Ooh, that's
yeah.
irritating.
That is how men approach women via social media in her DMs, even in the comment section of a picture that she posts. So if they're doing that online, just imagine how horrible it is in person, right? So yeah, a lot of men don't know how to approach because of the convenience of social media. That's one reason. I mean, there are others, but because of that convenience, at the same time, dudes used to do this when I was growing up. Say, come here. Hey, you lady and I've never done that, but that's disrespectful to women. You know what I'm saying? Like, look how women are acting right now. Now they're playing with it, but they're somewhat serious with these hoochie daddy shorts. Like women are going, dude with the legs and the hoochie daddy shorts. Say, come here. Like they're trying to flip it,
So
it's all fun and games, but there is some like validity in what they're saying because dudes don't know how to really approach a female. They don't know how to go up to her. They don't know how to, say excuse me or pardon me, shake her hand, not try to, get all into her space, try to find a common ground really quick. They just like say, shawty, you know what I'm saying? What is?
no,
Can
you
I take
can't.
you to such a
Do you think
that,
Mm-mm.
too that because there aren't more fathers in the homes, dads aren't teaching
well,
these
yeah,
young men?
that does happen because look at our examples, and I always go back to this. Our examples of how men should talk to women are in music and in movies, right?
Right.
And how much of it is a gentleman type approach. It's
Yeah.
rare that you find a movie talking about gentlemen, right? I think the last movie that was that was perpetuating gentlemanness was The Photograph. But you're gonna find more movies with dudes disrespecting women and hollering at them all crazy than you would a gentleman movie, right? And then music. Let's not even go there. You know what I'm saying? Like music perpetuates talking to women not in a good way. I mean, even in the R&B days, you know what I'm saying? It was better, but it still didn't, give a great example. So yeah, you got some validity in that.
I mean, we need the dads to step up and teach their sons how to talk to women and not like talk to them online, but actually having a real conversation, you know?
Agreed. I'm gonna read some comments and then I want to know Eric's thoughts on this. Keisha says, sadly, a lot of fellas are afraid to approach women these days, especially in person. They don't know what to say and they can hide their foolishness behind the computer. Okay, somebody says Grand Rising one more time. I'm gonna throw the whole mother sucker away because that shit is so irritating. Or they come in with the prayer, baby. Don't. I mean, anyway, CJ Brian says, no. CJ says, Brian, I apologize for not getting your name right on none of these streams. I've been calling you Derek the whole time. You know why he's been calling you Derek? It's because you got that damn red cup every time. That's why. He says, I don't know how I got you mixed up because of the red cup. Tell the
Oh,
truth.
no, you good, CJ.
He just says, "What's up, Evie?"
Hey,
Okay.
Keisha.
Brian says, "Good evening, everyone." Hi, Brian.
Hello.
CJ says most dudes ain't got no Riz. Now he broke down what Riz means to me, and I think you're right, CJ. I didn't know what Riz was until CJ broke it down. Keisha says, when they say "Hey, beautiful" or Grand Rising bullshit, I ask them, how many females did you say that to before me? Jesus, I don't say that. I just leave you in red. Teresa says, movies and music influence how we talk and communicate with each other. That's very true. The art of conversation is lost. Yeah.
That's true.
Brian, teach us how to riz up a woman then. I'm snorting. Keisha says, I've approached dudes by saying, say gray sweatpants and black hoodie. And make sure it's and
That's fun.
and they've come to over to chat. You know what? I'm a little old fashioned. I'm not approaching a man. I can't do it. I know what Riz means. Thanks, CJ. So Eric, what are your thoughts? Why don't men approach women anymore? What do you think?
I think it's, to me, and this may have been stated already. One, the dislike of rejection, and then I'd say, men are not going to admit it, but we have emotions and feelings, and no one wants to be rejected. And then the second would be, I think, the experience of how they get rejected, because I think rejection turns into a spectacle. But it's and I think this is a much more complicated question, because we're talking about the most complicated element on the planet, which is human beings. You have to take in consideration each individual's lived experience and why they respond to different approaches. Because if we want to be really honest here, a lot of the things that we just talked about as negative ways that men approach women, that mess work, because it's still kids being made, still women getting with these dudes. So now we have to look at what type of man is approaching what type of woman, and what type of woman is responding to a particular type of man. I'll give a quick story. I'm a gentleman, always have been. I was around gentlemen, and this is despite my father not being around. But he was good with the ladies, so maybe it was something genetically passed on. I don't know. But my point is, I was actually told I was too nice. And I appreciate the women. And this was early in my years, but I'm trying to take them out on dates, open doors, things that we would consider, characteristics of a gentleman, right? And I remember at the end of the date, the young lady kind of sitting there, and she say, Eric, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're just too nice. She said, I would dog you. And I like you too much to dog you.
Wow.
And I just had to say, yeah. So that exists, you know, and so you have to, so when we talk about why now, we can really get into the nitty gritty, but you know, I don't want to create any enemies for myself. But right now, because it's going to seem like I'm attacking women, but I can only talk to you from a man's point of view, and I'm going to give you my point of view from my lived experiences, right? So I'm sorry, is there an echo? Hopefully not. So with that being said, like women,
just say it, because hey, you are
No,
on. He is
if
on
you
the
don't
right.
say it, I'm gonna say it.
Like,
Because I didn't know
listen,
what you were
you
gonna
can.
say.
What am I? Okay. Well, what am I going to say? And I promise, I'll tell you if you like. Yes, that's what I was going to say. What am I going to say?
Because I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this too, though. But I spoke to my Orthodox African brother today, and he said to me, and I agree. He said that a lot of women acting like men. Yeah, woman. And I asked him. I said, if a woman approached you, how would you feel? He said, I wouldn't treat her right. That's what he told me. And I think when a woman asks a man out, now you function in masculine energy. You just are. And I don't think a guy will look at you the same. Now, people are
I
gonna
don't
say,
believe that's true. That's not
exactly,
true.
you don't believe it's true, but and that's fine. But I personally would not ask a man out. Never gonna happen. I can't bring myself to do that shit. And I tell my girls, do not ever ask a ninja out in your life. Because I'm seeing a lot of women on one knee asking people to marry them, and that shit fires my behind up.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's different. That's different.
Well, I'm a girl dad, and I would tell my daughter, no, don't do that. But I always take in perspective that that's their generation, and I have my generation. You see what I'm saying? So, and my result is I look at the fruit. What is the fruit that the situation bears? Now, if that works for them and they're healthy and they have a healthy family and a healthy relationship, and she asks first, okay. In any case, a woman is asking anyway. There's many marriages where the woman was hinting at it. Hey, I'm out of here unless you propose. Now he went through the act of asking and bringing the ring, but she made sure
Right.
that was going down. So let's keep it 100 now.
This is true.
Women just ask and get things they want, and we have this overarching element in society where women are just right. They just that's how society. They're just right, and we can't call them out on certain things like being masculine. We can't tell them that when I approach you, you know, well, me personally, femininity is the most beautiful thing on the planet, and without it, you won't see nothing from me, and that's not ample in society at this point. Now, that's not to blame anyone. I think it's a result of what has occurred over time, the trauma within, and I say within our community, the trauma between Black men and women, you know, the people that have been hurt, then the spread of that, like, don't allow the man to do this, don't do this, and if a man do that, and then once they get hurt, soon as a man approaches, and he may have all the purest intentions, she already got up. She got the shield, the sword. She got the armor of God on, and I'm not gonna let nothing. And I'm like, I understand. And then you even see posts where women saying he gonna have to work through he gonna have to clean up this yard. He gonna have to get through that. And if he really cares, he's gonna have to work hard.
But that's trauma, though.
Yes,
But that's trauma.
That is trauma,
it's
but you're so
rampant,
proud of it, though. But you're proud of your trauma, and you're proud of being toxic, but you're not doing shit to work through it. But they're not. They raise like a badge of honor. Like, oh,
I appreciate you saying it.
Because you got some people that haven't been healed yet. I mean, yeah, you do have women out there and men walking around with trauma on them, walking around with it. Yes, both men and women. But I'm saying those people have not been healed. So can you really go, well, you know, you got this
Yes, you
and
can.
but they haven't been healed though.
But
Well, then don't jack with them. Don't jack. I am
Thank
a
you.
firm believer.
I won't even mess with you, girl, because you're not a factor. I mean, honestly. Let me
Yeah,
read some
yeah.
comments and then because Kim, okay. Anyway, the way you, CJ says, the way you approach her is you hit with the, excuse me, I just wanted to talk to you for a little bit, if you don't mind. And if she looks annoyed, then you got your answer. But if she gives you the time of day and seems interested, you're in there like swimwear. I don't know if you're in there like swimwear, but maybe. He said Eric used to be a pump back in the day.
Now I'm gonna say this. My father was a pimp.
Oh,
That was his occupation. That's the only thing
okay.
I ever known him to do. Now it was actually the direct result of his death.
Oh,
So
wow.
of course that was the lesson he taught me, was definitely that's not the route to go. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
it was by a woman that he was partnering with. So I'll just say it like that.
Yeah, partner.
That's a good way.
Yes, that he was in business with. So like and you'll hear me speak very candidly, man, I've just seen so many facets of when it comes to women and how I've seen them conduct themselves. Some in very unsightful ways, and some that are just actually absolutely spectacular. So I hold my own. I stand on that hill like, no, I know good when I see good. I know bad when I see
Right.
bad. I'm gonna call BS when I see BS, and I damn sure know trauma when I see trauma. And if
Yeah.
you're offended because a man finds you attractive for whatever reason and approaches you, and you got something slick to say, or you're gonna try to clown him, or you finna make a spectacle, then it's something wrong with you. I'm not finna co-sign on that. I'm gonna tell you there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And that is rampant today. That is rampant today. If you ain't coming to buy something, pay a bill, like this is really rhetoric that's out there. That's
Yeah.
really rhetoric. I mean,
Yeah.
you have
But it's
women
like
that are
Robbie
saying,
had said, but it's like Robbie had said at the beginning, it's how you approach. Some men don't even know how
Yeah.
to approach a woman.
Yeah,
They
but
don't.
hold on. That's not
What?
necessarily true. I have said it on the show more than once, and Eric just hit on it, and this is the first time me and him been on the same show.
No, but
What,
you see,
what,
this is the thing. We want to blame men for everything, but we have a part in the shit too, Kim.
yeah.
No, I understand that we have a part two, but it's okay.
Wait,
Let me read.
Yes.
hold on. Let me just chime in one time.
Okay.
Eric said something earlier. He said it works if all I gotta say is say, little mama, say, do this, do that, and he comes to me, it worked. The reason why men chuck out "Hey, beautiful" to 25 women is because it's going to work on one or two of them, right? The reason why men approach disrespectfully to women is because it works on them. So you have to. I mean, we could break it down to the type of woman that you're talking about, but then look at what, like Eric just said. If you ain't trying to buy nothing, if you ain't trying to show how much money you finna spend, if you ain't trying to say, hey, we finna go to Ruth's Chris and I'm finna spend $200 on you and buy you a Ferris wheel of cupcakes that lights on fire for $100. If you ain't do all that, you know what I'm saying? Most
right,
women gonna look at you and just chunk you to deuce. Why? Because of what is perpetuated. You don't have songs about gentlemen, but you do have songs about roughnecks and pay my bills and buy me a drink and I
scrub.
want to and no scrubs and I want a soldier and all that. You have
No, not a soldier.
movies, you have movies that perpetuate the no good approach that dudes often do to women that work, right? So
You're right.
that's what's acceptable to the majority of women. So now, hey, there's a comment right here. Keisha said that, Eric, you're certainly right. I've told two nice dudes, I'm at a point in my life where I will take your paycheck. Now that I'm delivered from being so angry, I've been blessed with a nice guy. Okay, so she just admitted that something was going on in her life, and I bet you a lot of the stuff was influential from movies and music and this and that, and maybe some other things. I'm not trying to, like be a psychic about her life, but I'm just saying the general influences. So she thought at one one point in time that nice dudes were not the way to go, that they weren't relevant enough, that they weren't
Right.
cool enough, that they weren't this enough. And that, and a lot of times that relevancy is financial, it's security. They think that, oh, well, this dude's got to look like this and be this much of a thug and this and that. I've experienced that all my life, I'm telling you. So no matter how nice I approach a woman, and like CJ said, you approach a woman nice, and if she give you that look, you know what I'm saying, you may be in there. But a lot of the times, like Eric said, there's about to be some recoil, you know what I'm saying? And it's about to be some snapping and some, I've experienced that too. So it's crazy how that happens.
So, y'all, I need to read this
Go right
comment
ahead.
my
I'm
friend
sorry.
said to me about why men don't approach women. He said, because women are not the woman that they used to approach years ago. They have made themselves into men with vaginas. That's what he said. I didn't say this now, okay? You see, the idea of a person not being approachable is generally traced back to a strong persona. Now, years ago, women were hardly unapproachable. Maybe as a man, you were scared to approach her because of her beauty, but not because of her personality. She's essentially a whole man now. She'll approach you. The other side of that is because of the above mentioned, or as a result, mentioned, men are sissies, punks. These men are like women now. So he's talking from both sides.
He has a
Which I thought
point.
was interesting. I mean, I agree with some of the things he said.
He's got a big point.
He's got a great point.
I have a friend, y'all, that's South African. She lives in Canada. She told me, Rabia, you're wasting your time. I said, what do you mean? She said, what you need to do is get you an 80-year-old man and let him pay your bills.
Oh, God.
That's what she
Stop.
does.
Who?
No, seriously.
Stop.
That's what she does. And I'm like, so what? Now she told me the things she does. She said, I don't sleep with him. And if you're listening, sweetheart, I love you. And I didn't say your name. Anyway, she doesn't have relations with him, but she'll have lunch with him on a Sunday and include him in family.
Stop. That's a version of a pimp. Stop.
No, it is. And I'm not saying it's right. I think it's wrong. I can't function that way. But this is a girl that I grew up with. And she will tell you straight up, she has about 6 of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the female we ain't. Yeah, those type of women.
Well, I'll tell you this, that any man that functions and accepts that type of arrangement is really a contributor to the problem of why. Yep. I just so we can keep with social media terms, they have been, those type of gentlemen are called simps. Is that fair to use?
He's old, y'all. She sent me a picture. Simps. This man
So with that being said, whether they're old, young, middle-aged, I don't care. If you got any self-respect, you're not going to enter into any situation like that. And what that does is perpetuate that. To me, that's a type of trauma. To even, well, I don't want to say that because now I feel like I'm attacking your friend, and I'm not. They're more than they have every right to, if they feel okay to do that. Hey, more to them. That's just something I don't agree with, right? So I respect them, their right to live the way they want to and do that, but just respectfully don't agree, for my personal world and circle. However, it's that type of thing that when you approach them, as B was saying, that you have to, like, if you're not buying them something, if you're not getting a cupcake that is set on fire, I'm gonna use that, man. That was a good one.
Those are too expensive.
That's like, man, whoa, yeah, because they want all those things. But and this is even from the beginning. If you're not buying them a drink, if you're not, I'm just like, if you can't. That's why there's no way I'm not there. I can't. My soul won't allow me to subject myself to that type of stuff. So, and on the flip side, men are saying, wait a minute, I'm just gonna chill out. I got things I need to build. I got things I need to do. And I'm just going to make sure that who I connect myself with is going to be someone I'm aligned with.
Right.
Someone who has common values and beliefs that I have. And so they're not approaching. The women feel like they're not being approached because it ain't that many of them out there.
I agree.
Do you think that social media is the perception of being perfect on social media is also playing a role in that because men are looking for this type of perfection that they see on social media?
I mean, there can't be idiots. You got to know what you see on social media is not what's real. Everyone knows that.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I
but
don't
a lot,
know. I
but
don't know if
but there
that's
are.
true.
Yeah, go ahead, B. I'm sorry.
Oh, you good, you good. But there are a lot of people, women and men included, who take the perception of what is liked on social media as what they think they need to do. You know what I'm saying?
Attack her, Eric.
You know, it's like if a woman is acting a certain way, but then she sees that this woman who is acting opposite of her is getting all the attention and gets all the
Man, that's
likes
good.
and gets all of the relevancy, then she thinks, oh, well, that's what men must like. So I need to act like that in order to get attention rather than kind of be patient and all that. And it works on the men's side too. Here's some kind of on a branch of that. A lot of
Mhm.
men, there are some men, well, I'm not going to say a lot, but there are some men who don't holler at women because of that perception, but the woman does have her stuff together. So the man is somewhat intimidated, going, that, like, I have seen a woman when I was younger, and this is no
Mhm.
lie, where when I saw her, she was so impressive to me that I was like, man, I got to get better life insurance. I got to get better health insurance. I got to get better dental insurance. Like, I was thinking about major life upgrades because she was so impressive. I wasn't thinking about buying her. I was thinking about like long-term stuff. Like, you know what? When we get together, our house insurance need to be this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and it wasn't that I was intimidated, but those were the thoughts rather
Those
than,
are mindset,
oh, I
right?
I I want to have sex, or man, I want to show her off. I was thinking about long term major
That's cool.
stuff. But there are men who see a woman like that and see a woman who's got her stuff together and she's impressive to them, and that intimidates them, so they just back off because they feel insecure or inadequate in various ways. So
I,
but social media does play a role in that too. But
Mhm.
But
it's multifaceted.
there's too much
Yeah.
double standards. We give men a hard time and we don't take accountability for what we do as women because we are full of shit. And
You
we
don't.
we we
You
are.
don't.
I mean, we don't.
You
It's
don't.
like, okay, for example, a woman can say, "I don't want to date a fat dude," and people are like, "Oh, okay, cool." But let a man say, "Oh, I don't want to date over. Oh, he's a narcissist. He's fat shaming. He full of shit. He can't handle all this." Goodbye. He just said the same shit you said, but now you mad. Why are you mad?
Or or
We do
or
that, and that's okay though. But that's okay because we said it. But if
Well,
they
or a
say,
because
woman
I
can,
mean, we live in a double standard society. I
yeah,
mean,
but I mean, does it
it's
make
the
it right?
society that we live in.
yeah,
So
So
but it
it goes
doesn't
the
make it
same thing
better
with
because a
dating.
it
woman can
doesn't make it
say,
better, but that's the society that we live in. It's
But see,
but
always
then it
been a
goes the
double
same thing
standard
as
with
dating.
men
We're
and
saying
women,
that I was
right?
saying that men, you become masculine when you ask a man out. I didn't make those rules. It's just what it is. It's like a man doesn't want to come home to a man. Like you can have a strong personality. I have a strong personality. But if my man comes home, I need to dumb that shit down. I don't have to problem solve everything. You know what I'm saying? You have to do that. I've had to be this way because of the situation that I've been in, been married before, and that's another story. But it's not naturally who I want to be. So I think females out there, life situations make them act a certain way, and I get that. But baby girl, if you're not going to therapy now or trying to figure yourself out, why am I attracting these type of men? Why is it that um I attract my ex? What the figure out that shit out. Stop dating and figure your shit out. And then maybe you'll attract the right person that you should be attracting. I don't know because I've been in
well,
therapy for
Grace,
over 3 years.
let's get into it. I'm gonna say it ain't nothing wrong with a woman approaching a man.
it's
What
not.
what this is
Mm,
the caveat. This is the caveat to what I'm gonna tell you. I agree a woman doesn't need to approach a man like a man.
right.
Approach like a woman. If you see a nice man or he has demonstrated or shown you something that attracts you,
I
then
agree.
just
I
introduce yourself.
agree.
Yeah.
I promise you, a man would appreciate it.
I
See what you
agree.
said? That's cool. But saying, hey, like you asking him, that I don't agree with. You can have
Asking
a
him what?
conversation. like asking him like on a date, like I'm asking, like I just maybe it's the way I would grew up and how we were raised. It's just
No,
this.
I'm not at all. I'm saying because men are not necessarily what we're talking about approaching, right?
Right.
So I'm focusing on that portion of it. I'm not saying a woman should take it because a man will see what you've just done. If he's single, he's available, he mutually finds you attractive, he will take that over and you'll
So,
see that he's a
Yeah,
leader. But
I
it's
so
no
agree.
problem.
basically, you saying hint, show some type of
No,
interest.
no, he ain't
What
saying
you
him.
saying?
He's
I'm just
he's
asking.
saying if a
Why she
woman
won't
walked up to
no
me and said, "Hey, B Jones," and made it nice or whatever. She said, "Hey, B Jones, I just thought it'd be cool if you and I hang out sometimes. We talk here and there. Blah, blah, blah. Would you like to go
Yeah,
somewhere on Friday? Wait, well, hold on.
can do
Would
it.
you like to go somewhere on this Friday?" I'll be like, "Hey, I'll tell you what. If I'm interested, I'll be like, I'll tell you what. That doesn't make her masculine, and that doesn't make me feminine. I take over at that point, and I
Exactly.
raise the level, and I raise the bar, and I go. I tell you, I can still lead if she asked me out. And you
Exactly.
know how I can lead? I go, hey, well, I tell you what. What type of food do you like? Is there something that you just, you have a craving for? Well, I want Mexican food. Bet. Let's meet at so and so at 7 o'clock, and
Right.
and just dress casual. You know what I'm saying? Let's just hang out, chill. And I can take over from there as a
Mhm.
man. It doesn't break that. It doesn't make her masculine, and it doesn't make me feminine because, like Eric said earlier, women can hint at marriage and basically ask the dude, hey, you need to marry me or I'm gone. But the dude just does the act. But it's all her asking, or putting it on. So it's the same thing. You can ask me out on a date on Friday, but then as a man, that's actually attractive to me, and I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna raise the bar, and I'm gonna take over the situation as a man and use all my masculinity, and you can go right back in your femininity because it's actually not masculine to ask a man out.
and I'm gonna and I want
Woo,
to
Jesus.
and let me addendum that. That would be no different that if there's a woman in my life, I need someone who's gonna be a partner. You're someone that I can go to, and I know they have strengths, knowledge, and expertise in a particular area that they may be stronger than I am, so they can advise me on things. You got to have a
Oh,
certain
that's
level of
good.
confidence. You got to have
I
so
like
it would
that.
be no different. So if a woman approached me, and then I saw she had the intellectual and emotional, she had the EQ to approach me, and then move back into her feminine. I'm like, oh yeah, that's potential, because that's what I
Mhm.
Exactly.
would see. That would
That's
Exactly.
trump.
wisdom
That would
right there.
trump beauty. That would trump beauty and all those things for me, because I'm like, okay, that's an ability. That's a rarity. Can't let that go too far. Let me see what's going on with that. That would
I like
Yeah.
that.
that would be more. That would be like B said. That would be more attractive to me.
No,
Because
I
So it
like what you're
confidence
saying.
is sexy, right?
Okay, can I read some comments because we have a whole bunch and then we'll go back. 100 Black Rock. Did I say Rock? I'm a watcher, single in my 60s. I observe more than approach, but will approach based on the vibe. Here's the good part: patience, humor, respect keeps the vibe positive. A dude was setting it off. I don't know who was talking, either Brian or Eric was talking, not sure. But you're both saying amazing things.
now B.
Keisha says, with all due respect, but 100 Black, could it be you're single and in your 60s because of other reasons? Don't put it on lack of a vibe. CJ says, agree, Grace. I don't know what we were talking about. Um, CJ says, facts, Brian. I was trying to resolve with mama one time. Man, she made me want to do better low key.
I got yeah.
Yeah. That.
Keisha says, one of my cousins has a whole mustache, live with her mom in her late 50s, and she says she won't date fat guys. I told her you need to take what you can get because you know what, Keisha, you hilarious, but you're right, girl. How are you gonna be anyway?
Keisha, keep it
She's right
100.
though. But she's right. Stay
Keisha,
in your damn lane.
at all
Fine.
times. Don't be delusional. Don't be delusional.
For
Yeah,
real,
that's crazy. That's
like
crazy.
that's ridiculous.
Because yeah,
100 Black
you have
says,
Crazy.
and
floors.
Keisha, I don't have time to train a relationship. I have a granddaughter and take the serious. On that side of my granddaughter, it is not right. So I remain single, no rush. Okay. My brother said, "Let the addendum dance." Hot damn! I'm so glad you're not on podcast. CJ said, "Brian sounded like he's finna give up on the first date." Hilarious! Oh my god! I don't know. I was just raised differently, and I feel like if you are in a relationship, then it's okay. You can make suggestions. We really establish something, but like from the beginning, I don't know. I
But
made
let's talk
I'll
about
go.
why you don't though. Why you
Yes.
don't holler at women? I mean, I'm sorry. Why
no.
you don't
Yeah,
holler
you're
at
right.
women?
It's not gonna happen.
Why you don't ask men out on dates is because of the frequency that dudes holler at you. You don't have to ask
Mm,
men out on dates, Grace. Most
mm,
women don't have to ask men out on dates because men are the
Hmm.
aggressors. Men are the ones who ask women all the time.
True.
So if you, I'm telling you right now, Rabia, go post a picture. And I'm not saying get sexy. I'm just saying go post a picture and you don't even have to have a caption. There are going to be 5, 10, 15, 20 dudes in your inbox saying, hey,
no,
beautiful,
no,
or
no,
whatever.
B. That's wrong.
You
That's wrong. It's
know,
gonna be 50 to 100 to 200.
yeah. But you can, Grace, you can literally go, okay, all these men are in my inbox. Which one do I want to respond? So
No.
you don't have to go out and talk to men or ask men out on dates because of the frequency and the consistency of men trying to holler at you. But you have to. You said something earlier about being hypocrites, and double standards. You,
Mhm.
it is unattractive to me. There have been women I've looked at, especially on social media, that say, "Oh, I want a good man. I want a good man. I want a good man. I want a good man." And then the picture of the shoulder of the man that you just posted, right? And I say that, you know how women be on dates and then they'll post some dude's shoulder, you know what I'm saying, for the whole relevancy part of it and the whole mystery, and you want to ask people to ask questions. The dude that you just got with is the same no good dude that you've been dealing with, but you're talking about you want good men, which goes into Kim's thing about not being healed. Eric said this earlier. I can spot trauma a mile away. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I
Yeah.
can spot
Right.
trauma a mile away, and I'm not fixing to deal with that. And people are heal is such a buzzword these days. It's kind of like the word
It
toxic.
is.
Toxic is a buzzword, and the new buzzword is heal. You ain't done no damn work, and you walking around there talking about you heal. And every time you say you want to get a good man,
But then
the
You're
no
dude that
right.
work.
you, the
No
dude that you
work.
just got pregnant by ain't nowhere near
And then
what you
two,
talking about.
you're right though, and you can hear it in the language when they're talking. You're not healed. You full of shit. You read a self-help book and you know the keywords to use, but you
You didn't
really
even
your
read the
foundation
book. You didn't
is
even read the book.
you read the
You
back
just
of
it's just been
it.
4 months ever since you've
No,
been
she
single. You didn't
what
read
she
no
did is
book.
got in the echo chamber. Probably stopped drinking. Stopped going out every night of the week and start only going out on the
uh-uh.
weekends. And she felt like there's a big change in their life that had occurred, and that's not the case.
At all.
It's a yeah, because a person that really has done the work, man, many times you don't even know.
Yeah.
They got to come across those people. It's not, you will sense it. You can sense it without having to. And I think that attracts, because I don't run into a lot of that. Because one, I'm not, I'm just not. I'm not finna. Like I said, it's just hard. I mean, I can sense it. You can just tell in the way a person carries themselves, especially in
Yeah.
True.
conversation. It's very easy to ask a question or two, see how they respond to other stimuli around them, and it's very telling. And I'm just saying it's work. It's bad. It's just really bad. And then I think there's too much of a men are not approaching because men almost have to be perfect, and ain't nobody perfect. There's an
No,
expectation for perfection.
I think let me read some comments. I want to go into the perfectionist comment that you said because there's some truth to that. But anyway, CJ says females don't have to have risk because we as men do that. Mm. Brian says
Mm.
most women will move back into a feminine role when men step up. A lot of these men are soft and they force women to be the men. Yeah. CJ says Grace had ninjas on the last pic going brazy, and she was just showing off her freckles. Wow. Um, 100 Black says, when I'm in South Beach, I better holler at women to attract her, or they don't hear me. Try hollering at women, yeah, in the Bay Area. Really? CJ says, nah, guys, she read on one of those self-affirmation posts. She's talking about she healed. Yeah. What about those? Hold on. What about women that post a scripture and then they standing backwards showing their ass? Girl,
Stop,
really?
stop.
So look,
A rapper, what's his name? This dang, I forgot his name, but and Andy Mineo. There's a song that he has, and in that song he's got a lyric that says, "What we're not gonna do is post scriptures like we God's child and live our life like Satan's child. That's what we're not gonna do." You know what I'm saying? And you can sit up there and post all the scriptures you want to, but scriptures, they don't mean anything if your actions don't reflect that. So I find it a negative, and I find it a big piece of unattraction if a woman is talking about scripture this, but she turning her ass twerking the whole time. Nah, you can get out of here with that.
hey, she may call it balance, though. She may call it balance. I'm joking.
No,
Nika says most who have veal don't have to tell everyone it shows. You're right. You don't have to make an announcement. It shows in your language. I had a lady
Exactly.
That's a fact.
and she was like, Grace, I go to therapy, but when she's talking, she sounds like a freaking wounded puppy. I was like, girl, you bullshitting. Bye. When you're ready to really, get help, come back, because that's an energy zapper. People are not willing, I think, sometimes to do the work, for one, or they simply just don't know. And like, you try to point them in the right direction, and after a while, it's like, you must just like to be where you at.
No, it's like anything. It's like anything else. To me, it's like addiction. A person who's addicted, whether it be drugs, alcohol, or any other vice, they can't heal from that until they are ready to heal from that. That's just what it has to be. Whatever is their rock bottom, or whatever incident or circumstances wakes them up, so that they start seeking, to be healed. What is that? I think it's subjective, but it's something for everyone. Now, I wanted to comment on the expression of like women that are, have a scripture on one post and then they, giving that back shot on the next one. I think a form of trauma that's really plaguing, I would say, our community more so, is this, man, the need of attention,
Relevancy.
like nobody can make a move. It's like, can you not just make life moves, achieve your goals without letting everyone knows? It almost it nauseates me when people are posting about every major life moment that they're having. Like, no, you just like, so you need everyone else's sign off. You need everyone else to comment or to say yay for you to even enjoy a moment. Like, it's like hitting a hole in one by yourself. Can you not enjoy that, or do you have to have everybody know? So they do that for the attention. And I think, now for me, I'll say this, for me and the men that I'm around, we're aware of that, which slows down and really makes you say, I'm not even approaching any of them, because I know there's a large number of women, they go out just to seek the validation of men with no intention of being proper. They're not in a position to really give the feedback or respond in a healthy way anyway. They simply are going out just so people can holler at them.
True.
And they get their rocks off on, maybe clowning them or dissing them or whatever the case may be.
So he threw a pass. I'm gonna go ahead and slam that one in. Man and woman go out on a date. They go to the park, and then the man is treating her great. Everything's good. But if there's no one to validate how great it is, there are a lot of women out here who don't think that they went well. It's not until she turns and she posts Park Day with Bay, and then she gets likes. Does that create in her, oh, this was great, but without telling anybody and with only interaction between those two, it's not as relevant. The attention, there are too many people out here, and I did say, well, a lot of women, but men have this problem too. There are too many people out here where validation and the event makes the relationship rather than the relationship, the two people making the relationship. And what I mean by that is, if me and another woman are connected and we make the relationship, we could go out to a jazz bar and the jazz bar be absolutely boring. But since we make the event, we can find some fun in it. We can interact and still enjoy ourselves in a boring setting. But there are so many people where if they go out on a date somewhere and the setting is boring or not up to their standards, well, then the whole date is ruined because they don't have any type of connection besides validation or relevancy or appearance or attention. And I mean, he's 100% right about that. And we see that. We see those interactions and we notice. Like, and the reason why men notice those things is the same reason why women's discernment and their their intuition click when they see certain type of men. Y'all just ignore it. Women's intuition and discernment click when they see a no good dude coming a mile away, and y'all just ignore it for a whole bunch of superficial reasons.
B, that ball ain't landed yet, man. I'm still looking for that home run. You just hit, man.
So okay,
I'm throwing it back, man. We just passed it. We passed it today. Throwing some assist.
This is good stuff, though, and I think, wow, I gotta chew on that. That is true. You said a lot of truth. Kim, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that people do it superficially. I mean, I post pictures when I'm out with my husband for lunch or when I'm out having a good time with my girls. I always post. So I know some people do it superficially and some people feel like they need to get away from social media because it is so fake for them and they have a reality check. I have known people who have done that. So yeah, I agree. There are women out there that are like that, men as well.
I take a lot of pictures myself. I take a lot of pictures. I don't share.
But you don't take it in the way. You don't take it in the way of attention seeking. And if you do, I don't see it. But I'm gonna backdoor something that Eric just said too about people seeking attention on social media so much. People want attention on social media to a point where they post when they're about to get off social media. Oh, I'm gonna take a social media.
They do.
I'm gonna take a social media being for 4 months. I'll be back.
You're right.
Oh wait,
what's that? Just leave. You ain't got to tell nobody.
That's true. I'm gonna block everybody because
that's too much, man.
Block if you're gonna block, and we don't need to know that.
Just deactivate your account. Don't tell nobody. But you want to make a relevant spectacle about it. You want people to text you and call you, hey man, what's going on? Yeah. Man, look, just deactivate it and don't come back until you're ready.
What social media has grown. This is what has been put into the dirt, and this is the plant that has grown, and we have to work around this plant.
But read some comments, guys. Keisha says, damn, great scripture and ass. Girl, there's a lot of scripture and ass going around. You just like 100 likes. It was the beginning of last week. Near the end of the show, a young sister said she wanted a man that is secure. In times like these, what is secure when the system gives insecurity? James Dodd says validation. Yeah, people, I mean, 100 Black says Jazz. Oh, if she doesn't like that, she can go home. I'm not sure what he's talking about. So
I wanted to add this before we get too far.
Okay.
Kim mentioned that she posts pictures with her husband and her friends and her girls. There's a motive matters. It's the motive in which you do anything that matters.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. Now I'm gonna do this for my for those who are rooted in the Christian, this is in the word, basically. So, you know, guy looked at David, who was a murderer, you know, he was a player, he fornicated, he did all of the wrong things. You understand? Okay, he was a hoe. I didn't want to say it, but we got my sister on there. She said it was a hoe, and still God said he a man after my own heart because his intentions in certain areas that really mattered matter. They matter. You know, you can. I think there's a and one of my favorite individuals. One of my favorite. It's a book that I read all the time. It's really one of the only ones I focus on. His name was Solomon. And apparently he was really, really smart, like smarter than anybody ever would be. I mean, I'm right there with him, but he was pretty player, okay? And he said, there's a time for everything under the sun. So you just, it's about the appropriation. And so, and I y'all hear this a lot from me. I operate in truth. I'm just really honest with who I am, what I am, and where I am. And I operate in balance. Because there's a time to slap somebody, and then there's a time to be slapped. You know,
I didn't get slapped though, but I feel you.
No, no, I'm serious. It's a time for war. It's a time for peace.
Yes.
It's a time for joy. It's a time to cry. You know what I mean? So there is a time to take a selfie and share a photo, and there is a time where you do not need to be showing your behind on social media too. So, you know, there's a time for everything. So it's appropriate.
Yes.
I took a long way to just say
no. You say you hit the. You hit the nail on the head, bro. Because David did what he did. God saw it's certain, you know, the intent of the matter long term. But David, for a while, didn't want to suffer the consequences of what he did. You know, his first major consequence was your firstborn son was gonna die. Player, he's like, what? Not mine. No, yours. Yours. And then your oldest son is gonna try to kill you. Your half your life. Your second son is gonna rape your daughter, and then your oldest son is gonna kill his own brother for raping him. All of those consequences come because of things that David did prior to. Now, relating that to what we're talking about, if you sit up there and post hypocritical stuff, you post things with bad motives, you're talking about you want good dudes, but you're always trying to get with the no good dudes who try to bring you relevancy and attention, and you're going after all of this superficial stuff. Well, one of the consequences is that's all you're going to attract. Right? You're not going to attract no good dudes. And you're going to sit up here running around talking about, I want good men. Well, now the consequences of your actions is that you attract those type of dudes. You attract those serpents that look at you for the superficial part and you know, roll like that. So, you know, there's consequences to all these actions that people don't want to accept. But your motive is, you know, there's a reap what you sow in that situation.
It's true.
Yes, sir.
If you fish with minnows,
yes, sir.
You're gonna get crappie.
Yeah.
You're gonna get perch. Now you throw some liver on the bottom, you're gonna get catfish. It's the bait you put out.
Yes, sir.
It's the bait you put out. So when whatever you putting out there, you're gonna track what eats that type of bait.
Yep.
Like I'm not responding to that because I'm looking at that. I'll tell you, in a time I dated a very beautiful woman, beautiful, kind. Now she was submissive to me, but it was some things in her character, and I said, nah, that's not going to be healthy for my daughters. I wouldn't want them to see that or be okay with that. So I was like, that's a no. So, you know, it's you have to be, whatever you put out there and what you show them, like, nah, that's not catching me. And it ain't gonna hold me. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So you said something about truth, Eric. You said, and it's interesting because, you know, I have one son, and today we were praying this morning, and I don't know, for some reason, when I was praying for him in particular, I started losing truth, and praying and asking the Lord to make him a seeker of truth and just seek truth, like for real, and love truth, because a lot of these young men don't love truth. It's like these video games, and it's like you're living this altered reality. And so I like what you said about truth. I wish that a lot of people wanted the truth, irrespective of whether it makes you feel good or not, right? Because I
Right.
think if people are like honest and truthful, then as women we can navigate around that, or say no. With your example about the woman you were dating, you know, you saw some things in a character and you were like, mm-mm, this is not conducive for my seed and for my children and the woman that I want to raise. But a lot of people out here are not doing that. They just going with it, and until, you know, having the
Not
sex or
not
whatever.
living it, not living in truth. Because it
Yeah.
living in truth, it's like healing. We talk about healing and trauma and toxicity. You got to go through the pain that heals the real pain.
It hurts.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Yes.
But that's
You
how you
gotta,
know
you
you're
gotta,
living, though.
yes. Yeah, you
That's
gotta
Yeah,
how
get
but
you know you're
comfortable to
living.
get to the
Yeah.
comfortability. Like you gotta look at yourself, and it was, and in some of the, I'd say the mentoring sessions that I have, or when my advice is asked, and this goes for men and women. I say, now you really got to look at, okay, well, it don't seem bad, because society, it'll be 99 people that say yay, and what they saying yay to is wrong. And
wrong.
you got to be strong enough to be that one person to say no. Well, Eric, how come you saying no? Everybody else is saying it. I say, look at the fruit that it bears.
Mm-hmm.
That's how
Mm,
you can
that's
tell.
good.
I say,
That's how you
Timmy,
know.
look
That's
at your
good.
life. If the habits that you're
Right.
practicing on an everyday basis, but are you winning or are you losing? Now,
Mm-hmm.
don't try to send me the BS and say that you okay. You know if it's
Right.
good or bad. If it's bad, stop. I'm almost cussing. Stop that mess. Cause I get passionate about this topic because it frustrates me to see, because I don't like people, but I think it's just because of the state that they're in right now, because it's very scary. It's almost dealing with it's almost dealing with zombies, because
Say,
I'm like,
You
say,
said
Eric. Hey, Eric. I don't mean to interrupt you, but we like long lost brothers on this podcast, because I said not too long ago. I said, man, I love people, but I don't like them a lot.
man, that's right, man. I want
I
to see,
don't like
because
them a lot.
it hurts me, like seriously, to just,
Yeah,
I'm like, why are you doing, you so beautiful, but you just
yeah,
so ugly inside? What is the
mm,
problem? Why don't you see the greatness that you are? Be honest, look at yourself, see that that's not working for you, and do something different. I'll help I'll help you, but man, you got to help yourself. And it's
yeah.
just hurtful. But I'm sorry, I'll get on a tangent about that. But until you really
no,
look at yourself, you see
you're
what
right.
you're producing. Is it healthy for you? Is it healthy for those that are under your umbrella responsibility? If
Mm,
you see that it's not, then you are wrong. Stop, desist, get some help, quit being prideful, put your ego up for a little bit, and let's get some healing going on. You know what I mean?
yeah. And
But
pride
it
is the
hurts.
root of a
Hurts.
lot of things, though. Pride is the root of a lot of things, because I don't like to use the word deliverance, because, you know, people get all spooky. But part of my ministry is, I'll say, freedom, okay? And a lot of people's issue, the root is rejection and pride. That pride will keep your ass in a spin cycle, and
And
you will
that
not
and
move forward.
it preceded destruction. I'm
It
using
does.
them words that people in my circles are familiar with. It preceded destruction, and I'm telling you, it's highly noticeable. And me as a man, I'm not going towards it, and that is happening a lot in my beautiful black women, in the what's that, the woman sphere. We talked about the manosphere, the women's realm. That is just it's huge, and I'm not. Well, I can't. I'm not going up to that. I'm not even dealing with it.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
right.
not.
And
But see,
people are
from
not teachable. But guys, I wanted to say something. You know, we wanted to add something this week to the top, because, you know, we always talk about issues, but we wanted to, and maybe we could do this next week because we don't have enough time. You know, how can we start to get men to pursue women like how it was? Do you think it'll ever go back to that, or are we wasting our time?
no, it won't. I don't think it will, because of the dynamics of how more convenient it is to holler at women in
I
certain
know,
platforms.
but I wish it
And
could go back.
and then
Kim say no.
and then you have the dynamic changes from a psychological standpoint, philosophical
Yes, yes.
standpoint. It's changing. It's not as genuine as it used to be. And I don't want to go too far back, but y'all mentioned some key stuff that people don't heal and people have pride and don't want to correct themselves because it hurts. Hurting, we have to change our mindset about pain. And I use this example a lot. If you went to the gym, if anybody on this podcast went to the gym and they worked out for an hour and didn't experience any pain or didn't have one drop of sweat, do you think you worked out? The answer is no. You would think that you didn't do anything. But if you worked out and you experienced pain, your muscles got tighter and you were drenched in sweat, well, then you would relate that, oh man, I had a great workout. Well, since the body's designed to protect itself from Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 through 28, because God made a perfect engine that was supposed to live forever, right? Until time started, the body was designed to live forever. And what's the evidence of that? Is if I pushed Eric over right now, if he got out of his car and I pushed him, the first thing that's going to happen is that his hands are going to go out to protect himself. When we sneeze, our eyes close, so our eyes don't come out of our head. We have a secretion system that when we eat foods, it automatically knows where to put the good and the bad stuff. So our body, in every shape, form, and fashion, is designed to protect itself long term. And that is also emotionally. It is designed to protect ourselves. We are designed to protect ourselves emotionally. So when we are about to do something that hurts ourselves, including self-reflection, including healing, including truth, our body goes, oh, no, 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 you're not about to put us through that internal pain. We're going to put pride in front of this. We're going to put complacency in front of this. We're going to put ego in front of this. And we're not going to worry about that healing stuff. We're just going to go around and find somebody that's just going to put up with us the way we are, rather than the self-reflection of, hey, we have to go through this pain in order to get better. Just like working out, you have to go through pain in order to get a better body. So you have to go through internal intangible pains in order to be a better person. But we have to we don't do it automatically because of how we're, initially wired.
Well, B, you said that I'll say the deterioration of our society and like relationships between men and women in those dynamics, and that could be a whole show
Yeah.
just about that. But as you develop, like you say, emotionally, it's a lot of mental work that goes into it. The brain, we don't use a very large amount of our brain, and if you do not use certain neurons, they will fire at a very low frequency. So you have to practice and put yourself and go through that to create and kind of activate those neurons so that it secretes certain type of, like, you can do a bad thing for yourself and dopamine is released in the body that makes you happy, but you're doing the wrong dang thing because that's what you've continued to do to put you at ease. So you have to go, and if you get to going and you work it out, and you almost have to talk. This comes into manifestation, power of the tongue. Life and death is in the tongue. You can build yourself up. Tell yourself, this is good. This workout is good. This pain is good. Those neurons will start firing and releasing dopamine when you have a good workout. B looks like he works out on a consistent basis. I don't as much as I did in my early days. But I was bad, so don't get twisted. But when I was doing that, I would have a workout and I would feel great. Like dopamine would be released. Like you're up, you be on a high without any form of drug. Like the body is miraculous. Like the Most High, it's ridiculous how think about how unique the body is. But you don't put the practice in to develop it and build those type of those neurons in the brain so that the body will respond a certain way. That's why you have the attitude that you have. That's why you have the perspective that you have. And there's been a major deterioration into B's point. And I don't think we just think about that. How are you going to get millions and millions of people who have been fed the wrong things, who have allowed those type of mentalities, attitudes, and perspectives to now be disintegrated? How are you going to all get them to try to wind it up? Unfortunately, Pandora's box has been opened, and I don't know how you're going to get it back in there.
Yeah, man. Hey, you, the word practice. I have taught a mantra for a very long time. I'm a basketball coach, mentor, yada yada. In a lot of these settings, and I try my best to teach people of this one mantra: you are not who you think you are. You are not who you say you are. You are not who you believe you are. You are what you practice.
True.
You are what you practice.
I feel like I'm in church, y'all. Are we in church?
Yeah, we may be, but hey, because what the practice does, the practice encompasses everything that I just said you're not. So people could say, well, yes, I am what I say I am. Well, if you practice saying the wrong things to yourself, you are what you practice. So if you want to get better, like he just said, there are things that in the mind you have to. There's a reason why there's a saying that says, never let your emotions override your logical thinking. There is a harmonic balance. Right? If you let your emotions stir up too much and you don't start using this, you will make impulsive decisions that will counteract some good things that are supposed to happen in your life. You know what I'm saying? And you have to practice. If you want men to holler at you, you have to practice being approachable in certain ways. Men, if we want to start hollering at women more, we have to practice not sending the "hey beautiful" text. We have to practice actually getting out there and actually doing it. You know what I'm saying?
And being okay with rejection. I'm sorry.
With rejection.
Absolutely.
Men are not okay with rejection. I know so many women.
Both men and women. But guys, we are way over time. Could we come back next week and discuss this further with you guys? Because I love the two of y'all together. Like this. Me
too.
Like I want to do this here. Like you and Eric.
Yes.
Y'all taught us. Y'all schooled us today. Because there's some things I didn't think about it until Eric said some things, and I was like, okay, maybe I need to change my thinking in certain areas. Maybe I need to put some more spice on it or take away some stuff. Maybe I should
you don't turn into He-Man when you say something to a dude. So get that out your head.
Yeah.
What? Your whole head, not just the head we see.
Bye. No, but you know what? Life is about progression, right? We learn every day. And sometimes when people are a certain age, we get set in our ways, and it's okay to someone to point some things out. You're like, well, maybe I could take this approach. Maybe I don't have to be such an asshole. I'm just saying.
But no, Grace, I'm gonna tell you that right there is a rarity. To be able to take in information, like cognitive dissonance just frustrates me. To be provided proof, evidence, truth, facts, and still stick with the old mantra, a mindset, something that you already believed has now been shown to not be valid with proof. And they say, well, it hurts too much to make a change, so I'm just going to stick with what I've been doing. Ooh, there's nothing more but frustrating to me. So I commend you to just admitting, saying, you know what, that's something I need to think about. Not saying that you need to change or that you were wrong, but you've been provided different information. So you're at least going to take a step back, review that information, do some testing on it. And then if you see that it bears good fruit, then go ahead and make your salad.
Agreed. All right, guys. I want to thank you guys for coming on, for taking time out of your busy schedule. Eric, you're still in your car, and my bad about the time. I just assumed. No. My bad. Thank you, Brian. And don't log off immediately. Can you hold on afterwards, please? Can you hold on? I'm talking to you, Brian. To you.
Who, me?
Yes. Can you wait? Don't hang up. Don't.
Oh. Okay.
All right, Joe. I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.